Counsel, did you get a copy of my recommendations, or shall I send it directly?
Yeah, I saw them on one or a SharePoint.
Good evening, Your Honor.
Good
Neil
evening.
Poston for the state.
Do we have the public defender?
I'm right here, Judge.
Oh, okay. I can't see you. All right, Mr. Ballesteros, you're charged with 2 counts of armed robbery. I'm going to order that you not possess any firearms or other weapons, no alcohol or illegal drugs. Do not have contact of any kind with the alleged victims, and stay away from the incident location and the victim's residences and workplaces. State's recommendation is that I hold you without bond, which I am going to do. No bond hearing is scheduled for November 27th at 2:30. Preliminary hearing December 3rd at 1:30 in the which agency? Public defender? Okay, public defender is appointed. You're excused.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. Mr. Powers, Cherry Lee reviews the first one on the list.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. Hello, what's your name?
VJ Marchand.
I'm sorry, say again?
VJ Marchand.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
All right, sir, you're charged with aggravated assault on a correction officer. The
So was an accident? Yes.
Don't talk about it.
the state's recommendation, I hold you on a $15,000 bond. We'll hear from defense counsel.
Your Honor, we're talking about one felony that he is accused of. He has 4 additional misdemeanors, but we're talking one felony and the state's asking for 15,000. That is way too high here. The only reason it's aggravated is because it's against a CO. He didn't cause a serious physical injury, didn't use a weapon. He also has no felony priors. I don't believe he has any significant financial history, so we'd be asking for no more than 2,500.
Your Honor, if I may.
Yes.
Your Honor, we're looking at 4 on a 4, an NVCA of yes. According to the arresting agency, defendant apparently didn't want to cooperate with the intake process and decided to, as he was being put into a restraint chair, took it upon himself to bite the hand of one of the COs, breaking the skin. Given the defendant's other charges, there is additional concern that, notwithstanding the usual pathogen concerns that somebody who suffers a human bite has to be concerned about, now this CO is going to have to find out what other pathogens they may have already been exposed to. $15,000.
All right. Thank you.
What?
So I'm gonna hold you on a $10,000 bond on the felony matter. Your next court date is December 3rd at 1:30, and the public defender is appointed. Do not initiate contact with the victim. No alcohol or drugs, no firearms or other weapons.
What does that mean?
I'm sorry?
I'll tell you in a second.
Does that mean I get released today?
You get released if you post a $10,000 bond. You have a couple of misdemeanor cases in Tucson City Court. You were charged today with trespassing, possession of prescription-only drug, urinating or defecating in public, and resisting arrest. That's the one file, and then there's a separate docket, criminal trespass. On those charges, I'm releasing you. I'll note the felony hold, though. If you're still in custody, you're going to be seen on video on December 3rd.
But
We have another video.
I've never missed a court date. I'll show up to December 3rd. court date.
Quiet. Thank you. His felony date is December 3rd. The video date is also December 3rd.
No, what date?
Oh, the
did I give
out date?
us?
December 23rd.
Let's do December 17th for the video review.
December 17th.
Kind
Okay.
of give it a chance to. We don't have to keep moving it around.
All right. All right, sir, you're excused. Thank you.
Did you say December 17th is the misdemeanor court date?
That's the video review in city court, correct?
Okay, what time is that at?
At 1:45.
Okay, thank you.
What is it?
That's yours. Yours. Hello, what's your name?
Michael Scully,
Okay, could you say it a little bit louder, please?
Michael Triboni, Michael Joseph Triboni.
Got it, thank you. So there are a couple of complaints, felony complaints. The first one is, you're charged with armed robbery, aggravated assault, possession of drug paraphernalia. And that is from November 24th. Wait a minute. Well, that's tomorrow. So that's a mistake.
Your Honor, the state can shed some light on the dates if you wish.
Go ahead.
The first charge was on the 20th of this month. Defendant allegedly threw a Starbucks bottle at a window of a Walgreens, shattering its north of $2,000 in damage. He has an extensive criminal history. And in the second matter, on the 23rd, he decides to return to the same same Walgreens that he attacked, where he went after them 3 days prior. He was recognized, asked to leave. He pulled a knife, threatened the employee, stole merchandise, and then upon being apprehended, was found with paraphernalia on his person. Honestly, Your Honor, had he been arrested on 10/20 and then released ROR, this would be a hold no bond. State's asking for 10,000 on the first, 15,000 on the second consecutive.
Okay. My comment had to do with the wrong, current commission date on the, it says November 24th, which is tomorrow. That you can correct that. Anyway, the state's recommendation is 10,000 on the one and 15,000 on the other, consecutive. We'll hear from defense counsel.
Your Honor, I don't believe those amounts are necessary in this case. He is unemployed and homeless, so he doesn't have the financial means to meet any sort of bond that high. So it doesn't need to be that high to meet the state's concerns for the community and to ensure he shows up for court. So given that, we'd be asking for a $5,000 bond on the criminal damage charges. This is still considered nonviolent. And then no more than 10,000 on the aggravated assault armed robbery charges.
Okay. All right, no alcohol or illegal drugs, no firearms or other weapons, 10,000 apiece. December 3rd, rather, at 1:30. Not return to Walgreens, no contact with victim, public defender appointed. See. Okay, you also have some misdemeanor cases in Tucson City Court. Three counts of criminal damage from June of this year, as well as a failure to appear complaint from July. Criminal damage from October of this year, and a failure to appear October 31st. We're gonna set bond in the amount of 2,500 on the misdemeanors. Appoint the city public defender. No return to locations, no contact with victim. And no alcohol or illegal drugs. Your next, I'm sorry.
Is that the same date as felony?
The video review, yeah, it actually would be.
So the next one after,
I'm sorry,
the next one is December sixth.
December 6th, okay. December 6th is your video review at city court. If you're out of December 27th at 2. You're excused.
Abby? Hello.
Hello, what's your name?
Deirdre Eby.
Ms. Avery, you're charged with disorderly conduct, recklessly handling, displaying, or discharging a deadly weapon. In order that do not possess any firearms or other weapons, no alcohol or illegal drugs. Do not have contact with the alleged victim, stay away from the victim's home and workplace. The recommendation from the state as to your conditions of release is the posting of a $7,500 bond. We'll hear from defense counsel.
Your Honor, we're asking you to release her on pretrial services. She's 60 years old with absolutely no priors, that is felony or misdemeanors. She's scoring a 1 on both of the scales. She has verified housing away from the victim in this matter. She has verified employment and support with her daughter. This is considered a class 6 felony. It's one of the lowest felonies, and given her lack of criminal history, we'd be asking that you give her a chance on pretrial services.
We'll hear from the state.
Your Honor, state submits on the written record.
All right, thank you. I'm going to release you to the supervision of pretrial services with the conditions that I mentioned. You get a one-time return visit with a law enforcement escort to get your stuff from the residence. Your court date is December 13th at 1:30, and the public defender is appointed to represent you. You're excused.
Your Honor, this is a Spanish interpreter. I would like to know if there are any Spanish-speaking defendants tonight.
Okay, can we see if there are any Spanish-speaking defendants? I'm getting a no.
No, it's called disorderly conduct with a firearm.
There's no Spanish.
The weapon discharge. It's
Okay,
not the
thank you.
accusation.
The
Just like,
the interpreters excuse them.
Thank you. Have a good night.
You as well.
hello.
Hi,
Hello, what's your name?
Buddy Wayne Montañez.
Okay, one moment.
Your Honor, on this one, the bond rec is a typo. That should be a 4 where there is a 1.
I'm sorry, what did you say again?
Your Honor, this is Mr. Montez, correct?
Yes.
It's written as 1,500. That should be 4,500. Excuse me.
Okay. All right. Is that on the interim? And what about the,
I'm sorry. Strike the interim. I apologize. Go ahead, sir. Please. I apologize.
what about the warrant? I don't see a separate recommendation for the warrant.
Your Honor, the state recommends the amount specified on the warrant, as well as consecutive to 4,500 for the allegations of burglary.
All right, thank you. So, you've got a couple of matters, felony wise, and then some misdemeanors. Felonies, burglary in the 3rd degree, possession of burglary tools, possession of drug paraphernalia. And then you've got an arrest warrant out of Pima County Superior Court listing possession of burglary tools and burglary in the 3rd degree. That one has a specified bond or bond request of 1,500. The state's recommending 4,500. That's correct, 4,500.
To cover all charges, Your Honor, all cases.
All right. Let's hear from the defense.
Your Honor, on the new charges, we would be asking for no more than 2,000. It looks like he's homeless and unemployed, so he doesn't have the financial means to meet a 4,500, much less a $2,000 bond. But that seems more appropriate given the charges, as they are considered nonviolent. In terms of the older case, it looks like a summons was mailed to his home, but he was never arrested on this, and he is homeless, so there's no way he could have gotten the summons. And he claims, I wasn't aware of this, and he was never arrested. So, but if you are gonna hold him on the new charges, then we'd be asking for no more than a $500 bond, so he gets time credit on both.
Cool, appreciate you.
All right, on the Superior Court warrant matter, bond is set at 1,500. December 2nd, 1:30, don't return to the incident location, no contact with victims, no alcohol or drugs, and no firearms or other weapons. Public defender appointed, December 2nd, 1:30. And then on the new charge, bond is set at 2,500. And this one has a date of December 3rd at 1:30. conditions are the same as the other one, and public defender appointed. You've got some misdemeanor cases in Tucson City Court. You were charged back in September of 2019 with disorderly conduct and a failure to appear complaint from that same month of 2019. And then October of 2023, possession of narcotics paraphernalia, trespassing, and possession of prescription drugs, and a failure to appear complaint on that one as well. $750 bond. No alcohol or drugs, no firearms or other weapons, no contact with alleged victims. Stay away from the incident location. City public defender appointed. And your court date is December 6th at 1:45. This is a video review, or if it's out of custody, December 18th at 9. Okay, that's it. You're excused.
Price. Hello.
Hello, what's your name?
Robert Price?
Mr. Price, you are charged with possession of dangerous drugs, possession of drug paraphernalia, burglary in the 3rd degree, fraudulent use of a credit card. So we're gonna order no contact with the alleged victims, stay away from bashes, no alcohol or drugs, no firearms or other weapons. And the state's recommending that I hold you on a $10,000 bond. We will hear from defense counsel.
Judge, I don't believe a $10,000 bond is necessary in this case. Is this considered a nonviolent offense? Hold on one second. Okay. It looks like he is unemployed currently, so he doesn't have the means to make a $10,000 bond. I don't believe it's necessary to protect the community as a victim and to ensure he comes to court. He does have priors, but his last one is from 2017 for personal possession, and it was designated a misdemeanor. So he has done well on probation before. So given all those factors, Your Honor, and the circumstances of the offense, we'd be asking for no more than $3,000.
Your Honor, if I may,
Go ahead.
it looks like it looks like this individual has had some run-ins with the law more recently. First off, he's a 6 out of 6. There is a court case that I tracked down. It's in justice court, but it looks to be a felony case that's been sent over to steps. So, but for the fact that he caught a break by it being sent to steps, we wouldn't be having this conversation. It would be a hold no bond. And the extensive felony convictions, many years in prison, probation violations, state submits on the written record.
All right, thank you. Bond is set in the amount of $5,000, December 3rd, 1:30, and the public defenders appointed. You also have a charge of shoplifting from today. This would be in Pima County Justice Court. Oops, that's the wrong one. Here we go. So don't return to the incident location, no alcohol or drugs, no firearms or other weapons, no contact with alleged victim. On the shoplifting, I'm releasing you with a court date of December 23rd at 8:30 in Pima County Justice Court. And then you've got a warrant on a suspended license case also in Pima County Justice Court. And you're released on that with the same date, December 23rd at 8:30. And that's it. You're excused.
Hello,
Hello, how you doing?
good, how are you?
Hello, what's your name?
My name is Anthony Dominic Weber, sir.
Mr. Weber, you charged with armed robbery, attempted armed robbery, excuse me, and disorderly conduct with a dangerous instrument. We're gonna order no contact with the alleged victim, no firearms or other weapons, no alcohol or drugs, illegal drugs, and don't go back to the location of the incident. State's asking for for a $75,000 bond. We'll hear from the city council.
Your Honor, we would be asking, that you release him to pretrial services. First of all, there's no name used in the interim complaint when talking about the facts. It just keeps referring to a suspect and a male suspect. So I don't even believe there's probable cause. I understand that there's a name above in the accusation portion, but still the actual facts of the case never actually accuse Mr. Weber of doing anything. However, if you, I don't believe a $75,000 bond is necessary, and we'd be asking for him to be released to pretrial. He doesn't have any prior felony convictions. He's 61 years old without any prior felony convictions. He's housing, he's been here for 21 years, and he's retired. With the court ordering no contact with the victim and no weapons as conditions of release, I think you'll be able to abide by that. So that's our recommendation. If you are inclined for a bond, then no more than a $10,000 bond.
Thank you. We'll hear from the state.
Your Honor, the victim was at home. The defendant came to this person's home, pounded on the door, demanding money. Eventually, he apparently left. And what we have is then when the victim went ahead and cracked the door to take a photograph to find out who was pounding on his door and demanding money. And by the way, the suspect had a knife and was yelling curse words, demanding money from the victim. He cracked the door to take a photo, and as the door cracked, the defendant looked back and appeared to point a firearm at the victim. This person is a distinct danger to society and particularly to the victim here. And as far as counsel's argument that because it says the victim, the suspect, Your Honor, I think it's absolutely obvious who this person is referring to because it's in the interim complaint. And I think it at worst, it's a Scrivener's error. I think it's getting hyper technical past the point of plausibility. This person accosted somebody at their home, demanding money whilst armed with a knife. And when that person who is the victim tried to do something to establish who was threatening them, out comes a gun. $75,000.
All right, thank you. All right, bond is set in the amount of 20,000. December 3rd, 1:30 is your court date. The public defender is appointed. You've got misdemeanor case, 2 counts of disorderly conduct, which, by the way, involve allegedly a machete. Pretty much the same conditions, no contact with victims, stay away from the incident location, no firearms or other weapons, etc. Bond on the misdemeanor is 2,500. And the video review is scheduled for December 4th. Oh, these are domestic violence cases. Okay. That's right. Domestic violence, disorderly conduct, 2 counts. December 4th, 1:30. City public defender appointed. You're excused.
Thank you, sir.
And everyone else is also excused. Have a good evening.
Good night, Judge. Thank you.
Good night, Your Honor. Thank you.